you guys, and welcome to my channel. I asked myself a question and I came up with the answer, so hence this video, you guys. And the question that I asked myself was, if I can give 3 pieces of advice as a whole or in general to the narcissistic abuse community, what would that advice be? All right, so I came up with a list of 3 things, you guys. All right, so these are the 3 things that, after talking to so many survivors, that I see being a really big issue as far as getting in the way of that survivor moving from survivor to thriver, okay? Or even being able to become a survivor, as a matter of fact, something that keeps them in the cycle of abuse. All right, so let's go ahead down the list here. You guys know that I like my list. So the first thing that I have here, you guys, is learn how to go with the flow. Okay, so when I say learn how to go with the flow, I am merely suggesting that we step out of resistance into acceptance. Just think about an ocean, you guys, and oceans have currents. And when we try to swim against the current, doesn't it take a lot more energy? And depending on how hard that wave is crashing, it could be downright impossible to go against that current, okay? But this is what's happening when we get clear red flags, clear information that lets us know, red alert, this person does not serve your best interest. This person is trying to connect to your shadow side versus your higher self. Okay, this person wants to lead you to the valley. This person is an energy vampire. This person is refusing to reciprocate with you. So once we start when the mask starts dropping, basically, and we start realizing this is occurring, often, too many times, survivors are going against the flow rather than with the flow. We could have an honest moment, even though it may feel uncomfortable, even though it may not have been what we had hoped for, as far as the results of the relationship or the connection. And we could be honest and say, you know what, I really was hoping it was going to go that way, but it's going this way. And rather than me being resistance and fight against it, which just invites us to be screamed at or increases the intensity that the universe now has to work to pull us away from this other person, I can just learn how to go with the flow. All right. And going with the flow will require you to have faith and hope that positive things or that other options, better options, will be coming your way as a result. Because as I'm letting go of this, so that I could have space to hold on to something else that is going to be more beneficial or just even beneficial. It can't even be more beneficial if the other thing wasn't even beneficial to begin with. But, when we take a bigger look at the picture, it's beneficial when we take our lessons, even though, perhaps the narcissist wasn't benefiting us with their love, but they were benefiting us with their lack of love because it was exploiting the cracks in our foundations. Chances are about the lack of love that we have for ourselves, which then, of course, would enable us to be with someone else that has a lack of love for us. See where I'm going with this? So yeah, it wasn't beneficial in a traditional sense. I was able to build and grow with this person, but you're still able to grow from that relationship when you're taking your lessons. But number one, we have to learn how to go with the flow to be able to even get to that point. Because going with the flow means I am going to be taking my lessons and flowing right on alone. I don't need to keep that lesson doesn't have to keep being presented to me over and over. That means we're not taking it, we're not learning it at that point. And it will save us so much more time, you guys. It doesn't have to get to a rock bottom. I've been saying this lately, and I want to say that you don't have to reach a rock bottom. Oftentimes, it's our own stubbornness, our own ego, our own agenda, because we have our goals and our plans, and God laughs at them. So if you told yourself the story, that's my husband, that's my wife, or that's the mother of my children, and she done showed you that that is not the case, but you're not willing to let go of that. And it causes more offense in your life because that person is not God ordained in your life, okay? So let's learn how to go with the flow, all right? And another part of going with the flow is being a truth seeker. You have to become a person that's highly invested in knowing the truth. See, a lot of us are less developed and less conscious, and we're only wanting to please our flesh. And when I say that, you guys, I'm not just talking about sex. What I mean by flesh is we're more concerned with our wants than our needs. Okay, and then sometimes it's great when our wants are our needs. You know, that's perfect, okay? But oftentimes what we want is not what we need. And if we're more invested in our wants than what we need, when we need to break up with that person, but we want to still try again, what do you think we're going to lean more towards? The wants. So a truth seeker will be the person that wants to know the truth. So they're going to be able to see the obvious signs and take it as that, have the emotional maturity to be able to dissect the truth appropriately. Okay. So that we're not in resistance, you guys. All right. We have to be a truth seeker. All right. And then when we want the truth is going to lean more towards our needs than our wants. You know, it's going to lead to our needs. Because the truth of the matter is, you don't need someone that's putting you down. You don't need someone that's abusive. But we might want that person out of our toxicity. Okay? But the truth of the matter is, that's not good for you. All right? So learn how to be a truth seeker, and that allows you to be able to go with the flow as well. All right? So number one, you guys, learn how to go with the flow in life. Gosh, isn't it so much more comfortable when you're just flowing? Isn't that so much more comfortable? All right? It takes so much more energy and is so much more exhausting when it's the other way, you guys. And after narcissistic abuse, when you're just trying to recoup your energy, trying to get recentered in everything, the last thing that you want to do moving forward is be a person that goes against the flow. Okay? So let's stop going against the flow, you guys. Okay? All right. Number two on my list is embrace your independence. Embrace your independence. Now, this is going to help you combat any codependency that you have inside of you. Because what did we 9 times out of 10 do in that relationship with the narcissist? We put that relationship on a throne, and we abandoned ourselves. We detached from ourselves to a certain point anyway. We were detached enough to be able to let them take the steering wheel, you know, and have their way to serve their own self agendas. All right. So if you embrace your independence, that means, you know what? I have my own mind. I have my own likes and dislikes. I have my boundaries and my standards, and I'm independent enough to stand by them. No matter how you feel, I can agree to disagree with you. Because I'm going with the flow, I'll be able to say, you know, I'm not everybody's cup of tea. It's okay if you don't want a relationship that reciprocates and that's mutual respect. You can go find what you're looking for, but obviously it's not what I'm looking for because I'm looking for that. So I'm independent enough to be independent from you if you cannot be equally yoked with me, if you cannot compromise with me, or if my core principles and values don't align with yours, it's okay. To each his own. You're on your journey. I'm on my journey. I'm independent enough to be able to let you go when I realize this. And that is going to be great for you. Okay? So embrace your independence. And a part of that, you guys, is also embracing singleness. Some of you just see this as just like a hex or a curse. And then I know there are like some married people out there like, I wish I was single again. And it's so interesting when everyone thinks the grass is greener. The single folk think it's greener to be a couple, and some of the couples are like, oh, I miss the days of being single. And everything has its pros and its cons, you guys. And everybody has seasons in their life. When it's your turn, when it's your time to be coupled up or, partnered up and all that stuff, it's going to happen. But until then, if we go with the flow and we're embracing, our independence, we'll have a fulfilled life. We'll be making connections. We can still make connections with people. And even if we're just dating and we're not in a committed relationship, we're still, single. We're not committed. We're checking things out. We're staying open. Our heart chakras are open to the possibilities. We believe for it and we trust in divine timing. We put our wishes out into the universe and we do our best and God does the rest. He knows my needs. He knows my desires. He knows what I want. So if it's really in your heart's desire to have that and God sees fit that this is your time for it, you'll get that. Okay? But not a second sooner, because then when we start doing things out of our own will, a lot of times we're moving too fast. We're skipping steps because, we're too focused on what we want to be objective at that point. All right, so embracing your independence means you're going to be pickier as well. It means that, someone might actually have to convince me that this relationship is a good idea. I'm going to be on my logic. It's not going to just be this emotional thing out of desperation or someone's rescuing me from my boring, mundane life because I didn't have a life without this person and now they're my happiness and they have to fill my cup up that I'm supposed to be filling up. When we're embracing our independence, we're going to be able to fill our own cups up as well, you guys. And that's beautiful because no one can empty that cup out once you fill it up. They can help it overflow. But it's already sufficient by my own means and because of me. And as long as I'm connected to myself, I'm not going to be unhappy. Okay? So we're going to have to embrace our independence, you guys. And that's a part of taking a certain kind of control. Control of yourself. And you're supposed to be taking that control, you guys. Okay? So let's embrace our independence. What is so wrong with it? What is so wrong with it? Two people can be even in a relationship and still embrace their independence. It's not embrace my independence until I get with someone. No, you still need to have, it's two individuals coming together, but it's two individuals. You still need to be an individual. You can still have a purpose and things that, only you will be a part of, even when you come together with that person. I'm sure, God glorifies couples and he brings people together to glorify him, right? So yes, he has a plan for that, but there's always going to be or should be things that are just something that you like. I mean, you might like to sew and your husband doesn't, or you've always donated your time to this charity and you continue to do that, or your gifts are your gifts. But the gifts complement each other and they can come together for a greater good to glorify God. But we still have, two individuals at all times. Okay? Does it mean, everything is separate, we never make decisions together? Don't run with that, you guys. Don't run with it. But we all have to embrace our individuality. All right? Point blank. Embrace it. It'll keep you from being codependent on other people. It'll help you be your best version. And all of it works together as far as attracting other healthy people as well. Okay? Because you see what type of person you end up latching on to when you're operating out of codependency and you're not in your independence. And some of you think you're in your independence because, I pay all my bills Independence is more than financial independence, you guys, because guess what? It was psychological and mental dependence that was keeping you stuck in that toxic relationship. So we have to broaden, our whole outlook on what exactly is independence to begin with. As a matter of fact, a woman can be taken care of by a man and still have independence of her mind, and that is the main thing to have. Because chances are, if he did stop taking care of her, okay, well, I have a plan B and a plan C and a plan D anyway. It's not like I never invested in myself or I can't go out and do this and that anyway. Okay. So, we have to broaden what we're seeing as independence. All right. So that's number 2, you guys. Número 3, or number 3 on my list, is definitely define your own self-worth. All right, this is a big one. And I know that sounds like a no-brainer, but if you think back in that relationship, you guys, oftentimes it was not happening. And that's how we get so hurt by what other people say, what the narcissist said and did. And we're needing all this time to separate from it because we attach to it instead of leaving that on their side. Look, that's what they said. That's what they think of me. Certainly not what I think of me. I'm not attaching to it. Oh, because they treated me this way, it must be what I'm worth. Okay. This is a big one, you guys. And so many survivors, damn near all of them that I've talked to, they've had this issue. So this is a big dog. And this is the shield that I talk about a lot of times in my videos that you are responsible for creating, so that when you're interacting with your external environment, you can keep the external and you take control out of your independence of what you're supposed to be taking control of anyway. And that shield is like a barrier, and all their thoughts and opinions kind of bounce off of it. Am I saying that you're a robot and your feelings can't ever be hurt? Like, wow. Gosh, it kind of hurts for them to view me that way. I thought so highly of them, or I thought that they thought more of me, but they thought, this time I'm saying I thought that they thought more of me. That doesn't mean and translate or trickle down into now, well, because they thought that of me, then that needs to change how I thought of me. And, you see what I'm saying? That is what we don't want to be happening. I don't need anyone to see how special I am. I don't need anyone to see how beautiful I am. I'm not dependent on that compliment. And I'm always going to consider the source, and then just think of the situation. Okay, the narcissist is breaking up with me. They weren't able to have their way with me. Yeah, they're saying these nasty things because they want to break me down. They want to hurt my feelings. This is the type of energy. They're staying in alignment with their energy at this point. Of course they're going to try, Or we think of people that are haters and hate on other people out of their jealousy. It happens, you guys. It happens. So we're going to define our own self-worth, and that will trickle into defining all the anythings, because self-worth, just look at the word self. The self is supposed to define that. Self. That's why it's called self-worth. It's still your self-worth, even if you're letting other people define it. You're just giving that control and power to them, and you're attaching to it and making that your identity. And that's very dangerous, because people are always going to have something to say. They're always going to have something to say. So that's why we got to take back our control and our independence, you guys. Get in our emotional maturity and our logic, and learn how to define those selves ourselves. All right, so let's go down the list again. We're going to learn how to go with the flow instead of fighting against the truth. We're going to embrace our independence and our singleness. And we're going to define our own self-worth, you guys. All right, so if this video was helpful to you, go ahead and hit that bell. Oh, not the bell, the like button. Hit the like button. But you can hit the bell too if you haven't. and that notifies you when I upload videos. But yeah, you're hitting the like button if this video resonates with you. Feel free to leave a comment down there if you would like to give any advice to other survivors, okay? And if you're struggling with healing from narcissistic abuse yourself, feel free to visit my website, lakiacrawford.com, and you can schedule an appointment with me because I am a life coach. I do voice calls, FaceTimes, email coaching you guys. So all types of things on the website that you can take advantage of, all right? I do have 2 support groups, a private one and a public one. Those links are below as well. And those are on Facebook, and they're for survivors of narcissistic abuse. A lot of people ask me about the books that I've written. They're available on Amazon and Barnes and Nobles. They help you get over your breakups and heal through narcissistic abuse, and help you, lift your consciousness and your awareness of not only your internal environment, but your external environment, all right? And then I wrote a book called Silent Tears for survivors of sexual abuse, okay? And that is a great healing book that you can do in the privacy of your own home. And all my books are available in ebook and hard copy, like I said, on Amazon and Barnes and Nobles. And you can get signed copies from my website, lakiacrawford.com. With that being said, you guys, great ways to support the channel is to always hit that like button. And another way to support the channel, you guys, is to join my monthly Patreon. You can access that through my website, lakiacrawford.com. You see the Patreon link, or you can go below. I believe the Patreon link is down there as well. And it's a monthly membership where you pay monthly into it, but you get back some great perks. So go look at the membership tiers, and especially for those of you who've been financially abused but want to go beyond the YouTube videos with me and have further access. All right? With that being said, you guys, never give up on yourself. Continue to do the work. And until next time, please take care.